Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. Welcome to day 952. The Biden administration named the first 10 medicines that will be subject to price negotiations between Medicare and pharmaceutical companies under the Inflation Reduction Act. The medications are some of the most widely used and costliest drugs that older Americans use for heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and autoimmune conditions. Medicare spent $50.5 billion on the drugs last year, and the negotiations are projected to save the government an estimated $98.5 billion over the course of a decade. The makers of the drugs have 30 days to participate in negotiations or face excise taxes. And a provision of the IRA mandates that a certain number of drugs will be added annually to the negotiations. Moving on, Hurricane Idalia strengthened into a Category 2 hurricane as it moved over record warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico. The storm is expected to make landfall along Florida's Gulf Coast on Wednesday as a major Category 3 hurricane with continuous winds between 111 and 129 miles per hour. The National Weather Service is warning that the surge will be anywhere from devastating to catastrophic, leading to an extreme life-threatening situation for anyone in the storm's path. Water temperatures around southern Florida climbed to 100 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas this summer, a possible world record for sea surface temperatures, and temperatures in the Gulf overall have been record warm. Warmer waters allow for what's known as rapid intensification, a phenomenon where a storm's wind speed increases at least 35 miles per hour within 24 hours. Water temperatures along the storm's predicted path are close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, a new benchmark study from the Energy Policy Institute at the University of Chicago says air pollution is more dangerous to the health of the average person on planet Earth than smoking or alcohol. The annual Air Quality Life Index reported that fine particulate air pollution, in other words, vehicle and industrial emissions, wildfires, and more, remained the greatest external threat to public health. Fine particulate matter is linked to lung disease, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. The World Health Organization estimates that permanently reducing these pollutants would add 2.3 years to the life expectancy of the average human. Cigarette smoking and other uses of tobacco reduces global life expectancy by 2.2 years. Meanwhile, the Biden administration weakened regulations protecting millions of acres of wetlands in order to comply with a Supreme Court ruling, which limited the federal government's ability to regulate wetlands that don't have a continuous surface connection to larger regulated bodies of water. Roughly 1.2 million to 4.9 million miles of ephemeral streams will no longer be under federal protection, and up to 63% of wetlands will be affected. In May, the Supreme Court limited the EPA's authority to protect wetlands and waterways under the Clean Water Act, upending a half-century of federal rules governing the nation's waterways. And finally, the number of available jobs in the United States fell for the third month in a row, dropping below 9 million for the first time since 2021. Job openings declined by 338,000 to a seasonally adjusted 8.8 million in July from the prior month. This according to the Labor Department. The latest numbers mark the sixth decline in the last 7 months. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.